Good afternoon, everybody. This is another Rockers interview session. Today we got the beautiful, sultry, fabulous Kelissa Anbessa. How you doing, Miss Kalissa? What's going on?
I'm good, giving thanks to be here and to share,
Nice, nice. Happy to have you in the Americas. Thank you for allowing Rockers Movement to come into your world and see what's going on with you and be a part of the movement and part of your journey. We really give thanks. We listened to you last night at the dub session, the dub vibes, and it was always a blessing to hear positive vibrations, and that's what you bring to the table. So thank you for taking the opportunity. We just got a quick run through questions because we go in the Rockers Movement. We try to find out the intimate details about an artist, what makes them tick, what makes them done, and what haven't we read on the internet or what haven't we heard on the street. So tell us, who is Kalissa?
I think we're all such multifaceted beings, and I try my best to tap into that with myself. I am an artist in many ways, more than one. I'm first and foremost a musician, but I definitely enjoy arts in all different genres. Then to say, I'm a visual artist. I love graphic design. I love jewelry. I'm just very stimulated by colors and sound. And so I would say that I'm first and foremost, I'm an artist, or as my father would like to say, an artist. We're incorporating the elements of love and upliftment into creative expression. So I think that's me in a nutshell.
Nice. Well said, well said. So you're an artist, as Dad would say, or a true artist, a visual artist and stuff. So straight off the get, why would anyone want to go know more about Kalissa or come see Kalissa?
That's really up to the people, For me, I try and channel a spiritual energy and the inspiration that I receive. I don't own it as mine. I don't take it as mine. I take it as messages that need to be delivered to the people in whatever form it comes, whether, it's just in me talking to you right here, right now, or whether it's through song, and I'd like to think that I offer a level of inspiration to people and upliftment. That's the main purpose why I do my artistry. And the feedback that I do get is of people who feel uplifted by the art, and so I believe that keeps me connected to the people, and it also keeps this movement growing beyond just me as well. It helps me to connect to different artists who are doing similar things as well. Yeah.
Give thanks. So, and listening to your voice and your music, you have, your backbeat is reggae, but you have a splash of soul, EDM, R&B. You just diverse in how your delivery, your concepts and what you sing about, and your melodies. It's very, very broad. You appeal to a very wide range of people that listen to your music. Has that been challenging for you, or you just, as they would say, gifted? You just come blessed with everything and you just don't want to be boxed in?
I think it's both. Sometimes people find it challenging not to box me in. Whereas I can't really figure me out. Like you have a roots reggae song that is like really deeply rootsy. And then I'll do like a techno song, but the thing is with me, I definitely stay true to my message at all times. There's definitely always, no matter what kind of rhythm is behind, no matter what kind of beat I'm singing over, I'm definitely staying true to the message, which is truth, right? Love, unity, justice, upliftment and inspiration, those are the main things. And so, it is a challenge for me sometimes, because I think it's easier for us as humans to categorize and put people into a box so that we can kind of overstand somebody. But my experience hasn't been one-dimensional. It's been so multi-dimensional that I think I would be cheating myself if my music didn't express that as well. So, yeah.
Thanks. How long have you been performing?
I've been performing ever since I can remember myself. I was a dancer growing up. And so I was always on the stage predominantly dancing. And my experience with music was always through dance, was expressing music through bodily movement. And it wasn't until maybe my early mid-teenage years that I started performing musically. with choirs and groups, and then I started exploring my own voice. So performance is not something that's new to me. It may be a little more new to me to sing on stage, but it's actually one of my most comfortable places to be and to express myself as an artist is on stage.
Nice. It's good to be home within your craft.
Yeah, it's nice.
Give thanks for that. So I've been following the Reggae Revival movement coming out of Jamaica the last couple of years, and you seem to fall into that category sometimes. And I hear mention
that
the
box.
artists. Yeah, it's that box. You seem to be one of the artists. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about the term Reggae Revival first and foremost, and also the fellow artists that are being a part of that box right there?
Well, a lot of people don't draw to the term Reggae Revival because it kind of insinuates that reggae was dead.
Correct. Which is not possible.
Which is not possible. It's an ongoing movement that has now developed international traction. You have reggae musicians and artists from all over the world that are big and in making huge impacts through the music and through the revolutionary messages and through the moving musical elements. So as I said before, I just think that the label Reggae Revival, the term Reggae Revival, whatever you want to call it, is a way that we can kind of understand what's going on. The way that I understand it, I believe that the consciousness of the world is raising right now, and I believe that we as a youth are the Jamaican expression of that, or reggae's expression of that. If you look in yoga, if you look at the yoga movement, that has proliferated. There's so many people that are doing yoga and getting involved with yoga, and the knowledge is expanding, spiritual knowledge expanding, and I just honestly think that this is our expression. This is our individualistic expression, and it's also our collective expression of the universal raising of consciousness. And though I may not term myself as part of the Reggae Revival, I can definitely relate to each and every one of the youths who others may term as the Reggae Revival. They are my brothers and my sisters, and we're doing similar work. So it's hard not to find a relation with that and to understand why people want to group us together, because we are a group, we're a musical family, and it may not be in a traditional sense where we're doing everything together and going everywhere together, because we each have our own individual expression and our own individual ways about going about things, our own individual approaches. But at the same time, I think the very essence of our artistry is very similar, which is truth and right and upliftment and unity, and it's a beautiful thing that we can come together in so many ways and even just stand together, that is not it's not a competition, it's a mission, so the term, I think, may cause people to stir, especially the older generation whose music has lived on and even lived on through us and even inspired us. But as I say, I think the label is a way for people to understand something and to be able to talk about it. You can't sit down and list out everybody's name, and when you're just trying to talk about a general what would you call it? I guess it's a movement. Yeah. So. But yeah, it's good to be alive and to be doing art and music during this time, and to see so many others doing it in a similar way and in such a unique way as well, and we can't fight it, as much as we may not have sat down together and say, oh, we are the Reggae Revival, we are a group of musicians, of youths who want to see the world and become a better place, and I think that's the most important thing.
No, for real. I mean, the universe and the movement chooses the messengers, and therefore the mission continues through that simple, I guess, channeling.
Yeah.
So you're a very powerful speaker, you're very articulate, well researched, and you understand the movement. Have you ever considered doing symposium lectures, just speaking apart from the embodiment of the music, but just actually going to colleges and schools and different places, to have discussions about the knowledge and the journey that you have had throughout life and what you have learned?
Definitely. I mean, I definitely you know, me and my sisters were just talking about that, you know, how important it is for us to connect with people even outside of the musical and artist space. You know, I studied in school up to the tertiary level. I went to college in LA, and I was very engaged in events like that, in different forums, and I haven't done it in a while, but it's something that I know is a part of me. My mother works for UNICEF, for United Nations, and she's always trying to reel me into her work. And it's definitely something that I feel like is missing right now out of my artistry, just because I've always done it, and I think it's important to show artists as well in an intellectual light, you know, rather than just always from an entertainment standpoint. It kind of helps to bring validity to what we do and to what we say as artists, and it also connects with people in a different way, you know. So I definitely think it's something that's important, and it's definitely something that I'm interested in, and definitely something that we're working on to do in the near future, you know. And I'm looking forward to sharing with people and with youths in those spaces.
You know, it's such a refreshing thing. You just mentioned your mom being part of UNICEF and stuff like that, and her instilling in you the need to further, the need to understand humanities aspects in life, and to further the importance of knowledge and education. That is such a challenge, you know, in Caribbean households. I don't know if it's fear, ignorance, or the crutch. You know, we can find so many different terms as to why we not pushed further, pushed harder to have a further knowledge of education and understanding humanities, because you see it so much in the Caribbean, where we not taught entrepreneurship. We taught to go to work for the guy down the street, or to go to work for this company. But you know, with that being said, the other side of the coin, you do see the flip side in certain islands where all they know is entrepreneurship. They own their small little shop from young and teach them from the cash register from they were 2 years old on a stool, learn to check out, count the numbers, count the groceries, and all those different things. It's a facet that we need to really push a little bit more, you know, amongst our peers and within the Caribbean now, because you know, the universe is shifting, the energy is shifting on the planet, and you know, it's the smart ones that are going to survive. You know, they used to say it's only the strong will survive. I think it's only the wise will survive, because we need to be able to reinvent ourselves continually and understand that this is constant motion. Constant motion is energy, and within energy, it requires intellect, and intellect is something in order to further, you know, ourselves and our being, because you know, like they used to say, once they thought the world was flat, now they thought it was round. And then there's still those that still think it's flat as well, because there's no proof. But tomorrow we might wake up and we'll find, oh, we're living in a big spaceship. Who knows? Because we never know, because we're an evolving species. As we evolve mentally first, because that's where the evolution and the revolution first takes place. It's in the mind. And you know, and it's a blessing to see a sister that gets that, and you know, and now see it in her music and in her being. You know, it's really, really, you know, I'm a reggae aficionado, and you know, Greg used to have a song. He said, you know, the daughters take a little longer to get to the father. I think if Greg was alive today, you'd have to take those words back.
Yeah, I think it might be flipping.
Yeah, you got to take those words back, because the sisters are putting in the work. They're doing it, and they're holding down the family, the household, the culture, all of it. You know, they got it. They've taken that full role of the African lifestyle of holding down the family unit, because the man was always away, and it takes the strength of the woman to keep this whole unit together. And that is, you see it more and more in today's culture. So, you know, give thanks for that, for sure.
Yeah, give thanks. Happy to be a conduit for that, you know.
Give thanks for sure. So, you play the guitar, you write, you dance, you sing. What else you got going? What are the things you got in that magic box going on in there? I know you're a designer as well, because I saw your work online. Yeah. So you got all these different talents running around.
We are just running around, you know. I honestly think that music has been the only one that I've really, and that's kind of on purpose, where I've said, okay, I just need to like zone in on one right now. You know, because I think all of it will come, and everything happens in time. And you know, with each art, you can just go so deep with each art, And you almost have to choose. I mean, that's been really hard for me because growing up I've always been interested in so many things and trying different things and doing sports and doing arts and doing intellectual things that is it's kind of all over the place, you know. So for me, this is my way of just zoning in, and I truly love music. I truly love to write, and I think that it's the best expression of my artistry. And even if everything else doesn't become a business and something main, I still get to express myself. Like when I feel like, you know, if I have a show later, I might just make some earrings for my show later, or, you know. So I'm not sure if that was a question you asked me.
No, you're on point. No, that's good. I'm just listening to you because it's so good because you have the discipline. I know when I was younger, and I used to be in drama school and music at the same time. Yeah. One day I was late for drama class, and the teacher was like, "This is it. You're not coming into class. Yeah. You gotta choose. It's either music or drama." I was like, "How can you ruin my world? These are my two worlds." Yeah. But you know, as you grow up after being all traumatized, you got it though, because it requires discipline and dedication. Because they're both two very, very, very indulgent crafts. So you gotta get your all in either or. You just
because then you're only scratching the surface.
Correct.
You know, and I definitely don't want to stay on the surface where it comes to my artistry. And I also really enjoy the other arts because I feel like it gets to express, it expresses another side of me and another side of my inspiration that I don't get to put forth in music. Like for instance, with graphic design, when I'm designing a t-shirt, I'm designing concepts of t-shirts. I like to let people think beyond just feeding them words. You know, so with music, you're feeding people words and you're kind of feeding them your perspective. But with a visual image, they can kind of create their own perspective from something that you create. And you know, I miss it. I definitely miss doing that actively. But I know that its time will come again in my life. You know, and I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to collaborating with other people. If I can directly be the one sitting down and doing the graphic design, at least I can be an artistic director. You know, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I like that. So when you write, I know you play guitar. Do you choose a melody in the guitar first? Do you put the words and vice versa as a combination? What is Kalissa's formula? There's a magic formula.
There's no formula. I think it surprises me every time. You know, there's so many different ways that that the words come to me, that the melodies come to me. You know, the most typical way that we do music in Jamaica is we get a rhythm and then my voice on the rhythm, right on the rhythm. And I've found that I don't do very good at boxes. It's really hard for me to write on a rhythm more than anything else. Whereas I could be driving and I'll get a melody and then that becomes words, and then I can find something on the guitar, or I'll start, you know, strumming something on the guitar and then some words will come and then eventually the song comes. So it varies for me, you know, and I think it's actually fun that I don't sit down and have a formula of how I do things. Because it makes me excited about how the inspiration comes, about how the words, the melodies come. So yeah, it's definitely a mix of all of that above.
Nice, sure. Alright, we're gonna go sidetracked because your music is very socially conscious. I see that when you came from your parents and have that kind of upbringing. I look from your whole demeanor, how you carry very positive energy and vibration in how you carry. What is your take on the current affairs of the world today?
Yeah, that's a good question because, to be honest, you know, if you stay up to date with all of the current affairs in the world, I probably wouldn't carry a punch tomorrow. So I've actually subtracted myself from all of the madness going on in the world. And I do that because I also know that I am feeding people my energy through the work that I do. And I think it's really important. I'm a very sensitive person and I'm very receptive to people's energies. And so immediately when I'm surrounding myself with chaos and I become chaotic and my artistic world becomes chaotic, you know. So it's almost how I maintain a peace. And you know, I think sometimes I might be a little ignorant to what's going on in the world, but it's almost how I protect my being and how I protect my artistry as well, you know, and how I protect my my projection of my artistry to other people as well. And I definitely think that we're going through a period in the world right now where it has to get worse before it gets better. So it's that time where it's just becoming really chaotic because everything is surfacing. All of the crap is surfacing, you know, and it's gonna take a while for it to kind of level off and balance out again. You know, it's kind of like going like this right now, but eventually it's gonna come right back to a balance. You know, so if you're looking at, for instance, the imbalance, I get asked this question all the time in interviews. You know, what do you think about being a female in the industry? What are some of the struggles you face? Do you think it's harder for a female? And it is, but it's not just the music industry. It happens in every industry, you know, where women are facing a level of, you know, discrimination and are put in a subservient position next to men. And sometimes, you know, men don't even realize it just because the way our society is structured. And, you know, before it balances off, you have women that are processing and getting really extreme and are really feminist, and, you know, like, to some people they're like, damn, you know, you need to calm down a little bit. But I also think that that's the way that it goes, where it's like, you know, total destruction is the only solution almost. As bad as that may sound, you know, it's almost like that's how the earth regenerates itself as well. You know, before in Jamaica sometimes we'll have a drought and then there's a really big hurricane and then everything is really green and really pretty and the rivers are flowing again. You know, so that's kind of how I see the world, and I try not to get too caught up in the destruction that's taking place, because I know that it's a part of the process, that things will surface and things will start to get better. And you know, I just try and focus on that a little bit, because nothing lasts forever, not even peace, unfortunately.
No, that's well said. I mean, you know, we have pockets of peace and pockets of war. Everything working intervals. We as beings need to learn that we need to strive for balance. And that's what you just said, is balance. You know, you can have an extreme left and extreme right, but we all want to reside in the middle, and that takes much sacrifice sometimes. So it takes really coming together and compromising and really giving. And it's unfortunate that, you know, so many people are still discriminatory against the females when they deliver so much more than the males in today's society. Yeah, they actually deliver. There you go. We are who we are because of them. Right. You know, and you know, people, as a world, we need to wake up and recognize that we need to get rid of the long time ago taboos and.
But it's happening, and it's exciting to be a part of that. You know, like, for instance, me as a female artist, I don't focus on the fact that, you know, men treat me differently in the industry or whatever. I'm like, all right, whatever, you know, you need to grow within yourself, but it's not gonna remove me from my mission and from my calling.
Nice.
You know, because that's just what it is, and it's actually unfortunate that other people think that way. But it's almost that when you bring yourself down to that level, it ends up holding you back. You know, rather than you just seeing it as it is and knowing that you're part of the evolution, and that females and artists and whoever that comes after me, you know, I'll actually be able to pave a path. So it's not like they have to go through and chop through all the bush and maca and drop them, and they don't have to do all of this, you know, because you kind of create that path. So that's kind of how I see it right now. We're just on a path where we're moving towards peace, moving towards unity, and we're moving towards balance. Because, you know, I don't think that woman should run the world either, or that it should be either or. I just think it's a matter of balance, you know, and if that highest Selassie viewed him and him queen. It was a balance thing where it's always a balance of energies, you know, so, yeah.
More than ever today, you see how Selassie's words come in full circle. So much things he's said, he's discussed with so much different world leaders. They start to see it more now. It resonates more and more every time, you know, because we live in an information age now, and the internet has allowed you access to so much things, and you start to see how so much of his discourses are coming full circle. And we only wish that, you know, leaders in the world today, people can take a time back and just research, find the information, get the vibration, because there's you know, history tends to repeat itself, and there are things that can be avoided if we but take a step back, really, you know, analyze it first and really study it and say, do not be reactive. You know, people used to say action is reaction, but action is not reaction. There's action, there's counter-action. But we can be proactive, and before someone makes an action, and we can be proactive towards our counter-action in life, you know, because we have the power to control everything that we do. And this I believe, and that's why I'm so blessed. That's why I was like, I kind of get an interview her, because she was such a profound speaker. You really were. I was like, as I go to events and I work with so many artists in my life, and you know, the songs are great. I can listen to someone's performance that is great. It is what it is. When you spend your whole life in the music world, a song becomes a song. It's like we used to say, a punch is just a punch, a kick is just a kick.
Right.
But you see, the interactions with the audience between the sounds, you see the human person, because you can rehearse a great show.
Right.
You cannot rehearse your exchanges between the audience. Those are not exchanges because that's raw energy. Because when you get up there, you can freeze, you can connect with that one person in the crowd, or you can have a vibration in that, you know, performance space, and you be like, okay, I am really feeling this energy right now. And it causes you to go outside of your show and really connect with that audience, because, you know, we are energy beings, and it's so good that when we can understand that we're energy beings and like go into that and be like, okay, you know what, I am really feeling this crowd right now, because you know what, the energy they're sending back to me, it makes me want to sing all night because they're hearing me, you know, and that, you know, I'm going on and on and on. So
yeah, no, but it's true, because you know, when I'm on stage, it feels like I'm in a classroom, and we're just having a discussion the other day about, you know, whether artists have a social responsibility, and I'm quite shy in regular life. I'm quite, you know, I'm kind of reclusive, but during those moments, I almost feel a responsibility to interact with people, you know, and to send a message in the way that I see the world visioning in my head, because I know that it's not me making it up in my head. You know, it's these visions that I receive from the Almighty, from God, whatsoever you may want to call it. And in those moments when I'm on stage and I have so many people in front of me, it's almost like you have to, like it pulls me out of my person, out of that shy person that I normally am, and pulls me into a space where, yo, it's time to interact, it's time to teach, and it's time to learn. You know, because in those moments when I'm speaking, sometimes I'm like, I didn't even know I had that in me. You know, that's why I know sometimes it's not necessarily mine. I don't own those ideas. And so it's definitely a space, the interaction space is definitely for learning and for teaching. It's that exchange of energy, you know, and I really enjoy that part of being an artist.
Yeah, man, it's a blessing to tap in. When you could just tap in, and it's like when you could honor that you're tapping in, the universe just opens a portal and just gives you everything. It was like, okay, I found the ideal person to convey the message for me. You know, with that being said, how do you go, like, how do you separate the line? How do you keep Kalissa and Kalissa's music, keep integrity in your art form? Because, you know, the industry can get brutal. It can go, you could choose art, you can choose monetary return. And, you know, how do you create that balance to keep integrity, to keep self in your art form?
Well, I think the beautiful thing is the world that we're living in today, it allows us to have more control over the value that we're offering. So it's no longer in the hands of big entities. It's no longer completely in the hands of big entities to kind of determine what will sell and what will make money and what is marketable. Right now, especially with the advent of, you know, social media and the internet, it's allowed us to kind of have more control over the value that we offer and the value that we're creating. You know, so that's definitely one way where being an independent artist, it has allowed me to realize that there's value in the things that you're offering beyond, you know, what the media traditionally thinks of as something that's marketable and selling. So for me, it's not hard to stay true to myself. You know, it's like, that's me. You know, that's the simple part actually. And I think if it were predominantly about money for me and predominantly about making it and you know, being at the top of the game, I think I would have to readjust myself. I would have to drop my standards, you know. And there's some people that do that and do it in order to express themselves to the fullest at a certain level, and I respect that as well. But I don't think it's something that I don't have the courage to drop my standards in order to do that, you know. And as a result, things move slow for me sometimes, you know. It doesn't move at a pace that it's just like boom, and it gets a little frustrating. But at the same time, I do believe that makes it a lot more organic and a lot more wholesome. And I try my best to stay true to myself through that concept, you know, where, you know, I don't have to sell sex through my music as a female. and I don't have to be, you know, all these things that we expect females to be within the industry. And it's a beautiful thing to have this independent control, because I think without it, you know, what we are doing as artists now wouldn't be very possible, you know. But yeah, it's a learning process, you know, and there are definitely some things that I've had to give up, and I've had to, like, I used to be a lot more rigid as an artist about the things I want to do, and I want it to be this way and only this way, and that's definitely held me back, and I've had to become a lot more flexible with the way that I do things and the way that I approach my music. But what I respect about myself is that it's never in a way that's going to sell out the true essence and true integrity of the music and the message that I'm trying to get across. It's just about becoming more flexible and understanding that different people consume the music differently, and you know, it's taken a while for us to evolve as humanity, and I have to be there with everybody evolving, you know. So it's the whole process has definitely humbled me and taught me a lot about being flexible, and being open about change as well, you know, and trying new things, but definitely integrity with them.
Yeah, that's important. So where do you see Kalissa in 5 years?
All over the world. All over the world in 5 years. I love to travel. You know, I never see myself, since I was about 15, my family moved to Tanzania in East Africa.
I love Tanzania.
Yeah.
It's the most peaceful place on the planet.
You know, Dar es Salaam.
Yeah.
City of peace.
Peaceful.
So, yeah. So ever since then, I've kind of been on the go. All my family members, my sisters, my brothers, we've kind of been on the move, going to different places, and I think it's a part of me now. So in 5 years, I definitely don't see myself situated in one place. You know, I love to be all over the place, learning new things, learning about new cultures, learning new languages, tasting different foods. That's one of the reasons why I do music, is so that I can do that, you know, so that I can travel. You know, maybe I would love to have a family in 5 years as well, and it will be interesting for me to figure out how to balance my lifestyle with that as well, and to incorporate my family into that lifestyle. But yeah, I just want to continue growing in this journey, you know, and knowing that I've made an impact and leave forward a legacy for people to pick up on and for people to learn on, you know. And I think it's really important to dream and to plan, but for some reason I don't sit down and say in 5 years I want to, and maybe I should. But I genuinely enjoy being a little spontaneous and kind of just rolling with the punches and going with the wind, and knowing that, you know, everything happens for a reason. So definitely to evolve within my artistry, evolve with my interaction with you know, the many great people of the world. I'm really looking forward to doing a lot more collaborations musically and artistically, and even within academic spaces. And this is really long. I feel like I'm talking for 5 years right now. But yeah, just to evolve and to become a better human being and to impact, you know, in the world in a way that I feel like I can. And just to grow and love and be loved.
No, you're doing a beautiful job. You know, as Rockers movement, you know, we consider ourselves as people that produce and present creative work. You know, whether it's art, dance, music, no matter the platform, we try to use the arts to create social responsibility and social transformation in different communities. And we like to be able to speak with people that understand the importance of that, because the arts has been the key. You know, art is life. Art imitates life. Art is the one thing.
Creation.
It's creation. You know, everything around us is art. You look around every day, all day, it's art around you. It's all how you perceive it. Everything is in your perception. And, you know, if the governments of the world could stop cutting the art programs in the world, I think we have a better world.
They did it on purpose.
I think they did it control.
If we had just art, all it would be too free. You know,
the machine. Yeah. One day we're gonna find Neo and stick him back into the machine and say, just end it all. You know, let's just figure it out. But nah, for sure. So I have some quick questions for you as we wrap up. What are your thoughts on good ganja?
What are my thoughts on ganja? I grew up around ganja. I grew up in a Rasta family. So It's all positive for me.
Healing of the nation, right?
Healing of everything.
Okay,
Not just the nation,
like,
of sickness, of your mind. You know, and it can be consumed in different purposes. I can wear ganja, I can create ganja fuel. You know, there are just so many things that we can do with it. And I'm all for it. I love ganja. And right now I'm not smoking or steaming or consuming it in that way. But I'm constantly around it and I can see the positive effect. It has had an enormous positive effect on me and it has definitely brought me to where I am right now. You know? So definitely. Ganja to the world.
Prefer live or in studio?
Live. Oh, studio is so stressful. Which is ironic, but yeah, my thing that love live.
City life or island living?
Island living, straight.
Alright, pop or rock?
Pop or rock? In between.
In between?
Yeah.
Reggae. That's the in between.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's cool. But we have one last item. We want to get a drop from Kalissa for Rockers Movement. And if you could sing us a song to close out this interview, it would be fabulous.
Alright, cool. Let me think one song. Okay, so this song is called Africa.
They cannot take away from what's in our DNA. Humankind rooted in the promised land of destiny. It's time to embrace the race. Black is power, black is grace, black is beauty and diversity. Like the stems of a tree, rooted in the soil of Mama Africa. Yeah, we eat the fruit, that's the knowledge that is used. They don't tell the truth of Mama Africa. Africa, Mama, Mama, Africa. Mama, Mama, Africa. La da 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 da. I love you, Africa. We need you, Africa. Oh, we are not Africa, 'cause we are born in Africa. We are Africa, 'cause Africa is born in us. We are not Africa, 'cause we are born in Africa. We are Africa, 'cause Africa is born in us. So take the time to understand the land. Africa in every child, man and woman. Take the time to understand the land. How can you reject the place where human life began? Take the time to understand the land. Africa is part of Japan, yeah. Take the time to understand the land of Africa. Mama, Mama, Africa. Mama, Mama, Africa. La da 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 da. Love you, Africa. We need you, Africa. Open your eyes, Africa. Yeah, we need no disguise, Africa. You are a child of Africa. Mama, African children, be wise and know you say, Mama, Mama, Africa, da 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 da. I love you, Africa. We need you, Africa. Rockers movement burning, down and down. Kelissa said to burn them, down and down. Rockers always burn them, down and down. Babylon will take it on swords. I design, I say, this is Kalissa representing for the Rockers movement. Every time, always keep it positive.
Bless it.